shorter than all the other ones and it doesn't work for some reason. And then we've got to start all over again because who cares? We'll just stick it to the taxpayers. Bend over and take it again. People are sick of that, whether they're Republicans or Democrats or anybody. So, what do we need? We need accountability. We need leaders who are not part of the same corrupt, brain-dead, reactionary liberal clique that's been running this state and is willing to challenge some of the people who are getting fat, wasting our money. This is a target-rich environment, folks. You can hardly stumble through the gardens of public policy without finding one of these weeds anywhere. Let's just tack on 4% to every subcontract in the Columbia River project, and who cares if there's no contractual authorization? And nobody ever goes to jail for anything, no matter what they do, whether it's the underage boys, or the underage girls, or the subcontract padding, or the outright stealing. Nobody's held accountable. Everybody's sick of that. You can persuade even your Democrat friends that we need at least one Republican, the Attorney General, who doesn't make laws but can keep the other people honest. But we really need to get out there and elect all the Republicans. We need to elect people like Newt Bueller, who can go out there and do audits and start uncovering these things and sending me the reports so I can send them up the river. And we need to elect Tom Cox to get out there and start pushing reform plans so we don't sink under the weight of this corrupt mess called PERS. And we need Bruce Starr, who can get out there and clean up the fact that our labor laws have become a minefield for every Oregon business. We have a great set of candidates. Let me tell you a little bit about my opponent, because I want you to understand how vulnerable she would be if anybody knew what she was really about. She says she's all about protecting the vulnerable and all about good government. Absolutely false. If you watch what people do instead of what they say, she's got a track record that smells to high heaven. As a judge, she ought to have been called Turn 'em Loose Ellen, because she repeatedly turned people loose so they could go out and kill again. She repeatedly stretched the law so far you wouldn't believe it. I'll tell you about one case. Benton County, some pervert's working in a nursing home. He's convicted of 21 counts of rape, sodomy, and forcible sexual abuse of elderly women with Alzheimer's. He's sent up the river. The case comes in front of my opponent. What does she say? It's not enough that we have the circumstantial evidence putting him there volunteering to spend the night for no apparent reason. It's not enough that he volunteers the activity to the policeman. It's not enough that he formally confesses later. It's not enough that he makes telephone calls from the jail to his relatives admitting to them that he did it. No, there's not enough evidence. We have to turn him loose so he can walk out the back door of the jail and start working on old women again. That's the kind of decision she has made over and over again. And then, when it comes to accountability, my opponent is a corrupt puppet of the public employee unions. How do we know this? Just 2 weeks ago. You remember the case of the woman who went into the Department of Revenue with a $3 million tax return and said, oh, I'm entitled to a $2 million refund. And the government, of course, oh, all right, here's your debit card. And the only reason they caught her is because she lost the debit card twice, and the private contractor doing the debit card said, what on earth is going on here? No public employee could be trusted to do that. Turns out, yes, her tax return was flagged by the computer, and 4 separate employees missed the job. But my opponent says we're not entitled to know who they are, we're not entitled to know exactly what they did wrong, just trust us, pay no attention to the people behind the curtain, and bend over again and pay for it. That's what our current leaders are about.